Well, hello, and welcome to Trash with a capital T, where we give trashy books and movies the love they truly deserve. And some deserve more than others. All right, so we are continuing with my middle grade horror readathon. I don't know if this is going to actually be released right after my Goosebumps House of Shivers book review, but I'm filming it the same day because I finished these books around the same time. So today we are covering K.R. Alexander's Vacancy. This is a very different middle grade horror kind of book. I am going to just upfront say I enjoyed the ever living heck out of it, and it is taking all of my willpower not to buy a bunch more of this guy's books and devour them because I really, really enjoyed this. So where Goosebumps is very much like goofy and comic booky and really fun, this is a straight on horror novel. It obviously is age appropriate for a middle grade audience, but it is pretty intense as far as the scares go, so it probably leans a little more towards the older. It doesn't have any major gore or gru or anything like that, but there is definitely characters are dying, or at least they're in deadly situations. It is honestly just a really solid paperback horror kind of story. I enjoyed this immensely. Other than the fact that the main characters are kids, I want to say they're probably around 12 years old. It really doesn't feel like a kid's book. It doesn't talk down to its audience at all. For horror fans, old and young, I highly recommend this. We'll get into the plot breakdown and all that stuff. And I will talk about two issues I had with the book. One of them is a story issue. One of them is actually a formatting issue. In here, there was a choice made that we're going to get into. But first off, the plot. So we follow Jasmine, a young girl who has moved to Gold River, not Cold River, Gold River. And she is starting in a new school. She has made friends with this young girl named Mira, who is very sweet and thoughtful. And Mira's best friend is Rohan, who is in love with Mira. And he's kind of nerdy, band geek, and but very sweet kid. And they kind of form their own little losers club. And they're dealing with a bully by the name of Bradley, who is making their life a living nightmare. And their goal is to maybe get some street cred by completing what is called the Dare. Every year, a bunch of the students go up to this hotel, the Carlisle, and spend the night in it. And whoever is able to make it until the morning wins the Dare, and they're generally become the more popular kid in school. And it gains them the street cred that otherwise they wouldn't have. And that is what these kids are hoping for. So they agree they're going to go on the Dare. Bradley's there, everyone's there. But this year is a special anniversary. You see, 33 years before, one night, all of the guests in the Carlisle just died. They don't know why they died. They all were apparently frightened to death. So they're going to hold a seance to commemorate the 33rd year. That's always a great idea, right? Let's go to a place where a bunch of people died and hold a seance. And it goes as well as you could hope. So I am going to get into some spoiler territory. I have to really truly talk about some of the issues I have with the book, but also how I really like it. So if you want to read this, and I do recommend this, pause here, go get a copy, read it. It reads really fast. It's actually not that short. It's just over 200 pages, but it's really, really, really enjoyable. If you're okay with spoilers, let's get going. Okay, so the book itself, very atmospheric. It definitely works to give you that good haunted hotel vibe. That's part of the reason I wanted to read this one. I know K.R. Alexander is better known for the book like Fear Zone or The Collector. I haven't read those. This is my first one. But I read the plot to this, and I'm like, I can't pass up a haunted hotel. And I'm very glad that I didn't pass up a haunted hotel because I enjoyed this so much. The atmosphere of the hotel is great. And once things go bad, it gets so entertaining. You get these creatures, like there's a scene where a marble statue like tips over and the head like twists around and these spider arms come out and it's chasing the kids. And like kids are getting snatched by like ghost arms and stuff. There's no real on-page violence, but basically what happens is the ghosts are collecting the kids, these other students who are running around the house, to use them to feed off of. So these kids are in a very bad situation. There's a great scene where our main trio run into another student who's freaked out. It looks like he's been stuck in a time loop. and he actually like panics and tries to escape from them, and ends up they're in a kitchen, and like the oven door flies open, and all of these like skeletal arms like fly out and grab him and yank him into the oven. Like, there's some intense scenes, and that intensity is held up through most of the book, which is impressive. The pacing of this is really, really, really strong, which is good. You need that for this kind of book. This is definitely like a chase book. It's the haunted house version of a slasher. So you have all of the tension and the pacing without all of the violence. If you've got a young horror reader, or if you yourself are a horror reader, check it out. Having said that, it is not a perfect book. I gave this one 4 stars for 2 reasons. One, and I'm not actually going to give away the ending, but I am going to say the ending twist needed a little more to support it. I know it's supposed to feel like it comes out of left field, but I needed something else, just a hint or two within the book that this might be coming, that it's possible. I don't know how that would work, so I do kind of understand why the twist has to work the way it does. But that was just one of those things when I reached the end, I was like, I mean, I'm still happy with the book, but really. The other thing, and this is a formatting thing, and this might just be because I'm old and my eyes are not what they used to be. Of course, my dog wants to get in on the review. So if you hear her in the background, she is making her opinion known. I'm going to try and show you guys this. There's a character in the book called the Grand Dame. It's spelled Grand Dame, but it's supposed to be Grand Dame. And all her text, you can see this, is done in the script font. And I get what it's for. It's to give her this air of like regal kind of, this ghostly regalness. The way she's described, she's this very like beautiful, stunning, very imposing woman. But the problem with the script font is the font in this book is not huge. And that font is actually, it reads smaller, like the line height is smaller. So you have this very, very thin, wispy font that is very small and very hard to read. So it actually hurts the pacing when you get to her lines, because you have to like kind of slow down to go, what the heck is she saying? And that is one thing. Don't do stuff like that. I get it. It's for formatting. It's to be more like, there are other formatting things in here where like there's line breaks for pacing. And I actually think that works really well. It does actually slow the pacing and kind of slow the reader down. I get the point of that. The font, not so much. It really, really hurts the readability of the book. And it doesn't really, the effect isn't as effective as I think they hoped it would be. So for those 2 things, the ending, which is a little more, I don't want to go into details. Like I said, I don't want to go full spoilers. The ending needed a little more support to make it really click. Although I did actually end up liking it. Like, there's an epilogue, and the epilogue actually made me happy. And kind of how screwed up it was. But the formatting thing, the font thing, if you're making your book hard to read, I have a problem with that. And I don't know if that was a K.R. Alexander call or if that was Scholastic. I'm guessing it was the author. But I can't complain too much because he turned in a really, really great horror novel. It was very fun, very pulpy. I don't want to call a book trash as in a bad thing, but this kind of fits that trashy paperback vibe. It's just, it's missing a lot of the more sleazy elements that some people may not enjoy. And if you need a break from sleaze, this will give you all of the horror without that sleaze. Again, highly recommend it. And I actually think this is not one of his best reviewed books. When I went on Goodreads, I think it had like 4 stars. Some of his other books are reviewed much higher. So I can't wait to dig into some of those. I think I already have like Fear Zone in my Amazon cart. Like I'm jumping in at some point. I do, but again, gotta hold back. Don't want to buy them all at once. All right, I'm going to cut the review here. I'm trying to keep these things at a more reasonable length. Do I recommend Vacancy? Heck yes, I do. Young, old, doesn't matter. This one is really freaking fun and is a highlight so far of my middle grade horror reading cycle. And I really can't wait to check out more from this author. Also, the cover on this is freaking great. Like, they are really pushing that these are horror novels. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, housekeeping again. As I said in the beginning, new episodes are posted here every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Like and subscribe if you like these videos, if you like my reviews. I kind of review everything from Sweet Valley High to Slumber Party Massacre. I just kind of go where the mood takes me. That's why I don't have a specific genre in my title. All right, guys. So, love what you love, enjoy what you're reading and watching, and I will and have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. And I will see you in the next one. I almost screwed up my outro. Bye, guys.